Okay, so I want to talk about long division of polynomials, but before I do that, I want to talk about just division in general. So let's talk about a problem like 25 divided by 5. Well, this is easy. We already know the answer is 5, but let's see what we can learn. So 25 is 5 times 5, so that equals 5, right? We already know that, okay? But because I can just reduce this to 1, I was able to cancel it out. Okay, but what about something like 27 fifths? How do you do this by hand? Well, that's not quite as easy. I don't have that one memorized. So I'm going to have to use something like long division. So I want to get as close as I possibly can to 27, some multiple of 5, but I don't want to go over. And I already know that 5 times 5 is 25, so that's going to work. I subtract them, I get 2. So this is what we call the remainder. That 2 is a remainder. Okay, so that means that 27 divided by 5 is simply 5 and 2 fifths. 2 divided by this 5. Okay, or it can be written as 5 plus 2 fifths. That's another way of writing it. You can also write it as 27 must equal 5 times 5 plus 2, where this 2 is the remainder. And that comes up again in the homework. But this is a review of just division, and we can use this to understand division of polynomials. So let's talk about a problem like this. 10x to the 4th minus 20x squared over 5x squared. So my goal is just to get rid of this 5x squared in the denominator. So if I can, I want to factor this out. So I'm going to factor out 5x squared. And what do I get? 2x squared minus 4 over 5x squared. And look at that. I can just simply cancel them. So I get 2x squared minus 4. Well, that's the answer. And that is, by definition, how you divide. So that's not too bad, actually. What else can I do? Okay, let's draw a problem like this. Let's not do it in that color. How about that? Let's try this. 14xy minus 16x squared y squared minus 20 x cubed y to the 4th over negative xy. So again, if I can, I'm just going to factor out negative xy out of the numerator. If I can do that, then I can reduce it to 1, and then technically I did divide. So if I factor out negative xy, what am I going to leave behind? So I'm going to have to change that sign of 14, but I can, since this is xy, I can just write negative 14. Now this is already negative, so I need to make it positive. I have x squared, so I need to write an x, and I have y squared, so I have to write a y, because when it distributes back, it would be x squared. Now this is negative, so I have to make that positive, so when it redistributes, it's still true. X to the 3rd, since I'm taking 1 away, it's x squared, and then y, since I'm taking 1 away, it'd be y cubed. Now, I factored out negative xy, so I can just get rid of it. And so this is now the answer. So technically, I did divide. I just divided by factoring. Much easier, much easier. Okay. What other types of problems can we do? X squared plus 9x plus 21 over x plus 3. Now, if I can, I want to factor out x plus 3. So x plus 3, x, and then what? So I need to find, this is a leading coefficient of 1 problem, so I need to find the factors of 21, which add to 9. The factors of 21 are 1 and 21. It's not even, so there's no 2. 3 and 7. 7 and 3, 21 and 1. And 7 and 3 add to 10. They don't add to 9. So I don't think I can find the factors so easily this time, and that's kind of annoying. So I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this problem into a long division problem, and then hopefully I can actually solve it. So I need to think, what would I multiply x plus 3 to get x squared? Well, to get x to be x squared, I would multiply it by x. Then x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x. The next step in long division is to divide, or I'm sorry, subtract. So x squared minus x squared is 0 by design. 9x minus 3x is 6x. I'll bring down that 21. Okay, now what do I multiply x by? What do I multiply x by to get 6x? Well, that'd be 6, right? So 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times 3 is 18. And I want to subtract. So 6x minus 6x is 0 by design. 21 minus 18, well, that's 3. Okay, what do I multiply x by to get 3? Well, I can't. So this is the remainder. All right, so that is how we would do a problem like that. And we have a remainder of 3. There's lots of different ways you can answer the question, but that's basically how you do it. So different questions will have you say that it was x plus 6 with a remainder of 3, and so on. But that's how you do it, okay? Let's try another one. So with something like 9x squared minus 12x plus 18 over x plus 1. Again, if you could, you would factor out x plus 1 out of the numerator, and then you would simply be able to just cancel x plus 1, but I wager that you won't be able to do that. Maybe I'll draw that a little lower. So 9x squared minus 12x plus 18. So what do I multiply x by to get 9x squared? Well, I think I would multiply it by 9x. That gives me 9x squared plus 9. Then we subtract. This goes to 0 by design. Then we have negative 12 minus 9. Did I mess up? Yep, that should have been an x. Okay, but that's okay. So we subtract. You know what? I just realized I miswrote the problem. So that will be on the next video. I apologize about that.